Greetings everyone, this is Mar, and once again, this is my opinion, and I'm coming at you with another episode of First Impressions, the video series where, as the title suggests, I give my first impressions on things. Usually movies, but in today's case, it is an episode of a TV series. It is one of the episodes of Steven Universe that dropped over the weekend via the app. It's the only one I've been able to find to watch in its entirety thus far. It is Your Mother and Mine, the first of the 4 episodes. Now, the synopsis of this episode is that it involves Steven and Garnet going to meet the Off-Colors and Lars via the portal that connects Lars and Lion because of Steven resurrecting Lars with his gem power last year. Now, just the idea of Garnet meeting the Off-Colors is interesting in of itself, and the show wastes no time in executing that idea. The moment that Garnet gets through, the Off-Colors are like a fusion, and Garnet reacts the way that you expect it to. She basically like, she goes up to each of the Off-Colors and reacts as you would expect. Ooh, a fusion? Oh, you're a pearl and a ruby. I must have all the details. Looking at the twins, and then of course looking at our 6-gem fusion, like, ooh, hoo, 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 hoo. Now, the way that the Off-Colors react is the way you would expect any homeworld gems to react, and they think they're being talked down to when Garnet's actually paying them a compliment. And part of this stems from how the gems on homeworld have been conditioned to feel about any gem that does not conform, whether it be a fusion, a defect, etc. And in this case, they're like, why are you saying this about us? We're hideous. We're not perfect. And Garnet basically tells them, you guys are perfect the way you are. And once the name Rose Quartz is mentioned, the homeworld gem's like, Rose Quartz? Rose Quartz? Because, as you would expect, homeworld has been told propaganda about Rose Quartz. And again, Steven has been told propaganda by the Crystal Gems as well, but of the two, you could say that the Crystal Gems version of events are a little bit closer to the truth than Homeworld's. Because Homeworld is not going to want any other gems to be nonconformists. So they're really going to nail home, like, she was an abomination. She did not like anything. And then, after this, Garnet tells the Off-Colors the version of events of the war from the perspective of the Crystal Gems. With that in mind, you got to read between the lines that this is kind of how it went, but this is also from the Crystal Gems perspective. So it goes a little bit in that darker gray area of how reliable it is, especially since it's Garnet telling the story. But it is good to at least get a larger scale version of events, especially on information we did not have previously, and that is what led to Rose deciding to disobey her diamond. Now, you got to keep that in mind that that's also being told by the Crystal Gems, so it could be how they perceive it. It could be what Rose told them, but it's not actually the truth. So we got to look at it until the show is over or more information is given to us. Got to look at it through that lens. And with that, it's like, okay, this is interesting information, but it is also behind a bias. With that in mind, it is interesting to see that Rose slowly gained appreciation for life. I mean, we already knew that, but to see it actually playing out in the animation style of a flashback was interesting, especially with how Garnet made Pink Diamond out to be, which is also seen through her bias, but it's so deliciously, vindictively evil that it's so enjoyable. Just the voice that Garnet gives Pink Diamond is so deliciously evil. And of course, Pink Diamond is seen more like how her mural is, more than she is how we saw her in that little brief in the flashback in Stranded. Which, of course, could be the bias, but it could just be artistic license. But either way, it is also interesting to see there. And by the end of the episode, Garnet and Steven do have a little chat about what Steven saw, but it's hard to tell whether Garnet actually is dismissing it as Steven's heart and his powers, or if she's actually fearing what it could mean. Like, there's probably some more secrets that the Crystal Gems either are knowingly or unknowingly keeping from Steven. We shall find out. Because based on what we've seen thus far, there is that little theory that Pink Diamond might not have been shattered, that it could be just Diamond propaganda to say that she was shattered. Maybe she was just poofed and is hidden among all the other gems. Then, of course, there's my little theory that one of the diamonds shattered her. I think it's yellow, but it could also be someone else. Which leads into another little interesting thing that the flashback showed. It played into a comment that Greg said about Rose being able to save some of her closest friends with her shield, where she grabs Garnet and Pearl and pulls them underneath the shield when the diamonds are attacking. But this is where the kicker comes in. Finally, a brief appearance by White Diamond. We see her hand in her outline, but we finally get an appearance by her that 100% confirms that White Diamond does exist. Why she hasn't appeared yet physically, I don't know. I know from another leak that she does appear more physically, but I haven't heard more about it other than that brief appearance, so I'm reacting like Garnet when she sees fusions. This is going to be interesting. Another little interesting thing to note about bias is that Garnet says it in two ways that really show the Crystal Gems perspective. She praises Rose for gathering allies to rebel against Pink Diamond, but yet when Pink Diamond calls her Diamond ally, she refers to her as a coward. The little thing to note there has to do with perspective and bias, but it is there, and you have to note it. That's the main little piece of dialogue that points out that the story is from the Crystal Gems perspective and that we gotta, look at it through that slant. Only other thing I'm wondering is, how long is it going to take the Off-Colors and Lars to get home? I know from this we see that they're having some engine problems with Emerald's ship. It's still one thing to wonder. Is it going to be the end of the season before they arrive home? Are they going to arrive home and they're going to be chased by Homeworld Gems and this is going to lead to the start of the battle? There's a lot of possibilities running up in this noggin. Either way, though, I cannot wait to finally watch the other 3 episodes. But of the 3, the only other one that I'll probably do a video on might be Pool Hopping, or I might just do a first impressions to briefly cover them. But of the 4 that are dropping, this is the one that definitely deserved its own video. But anyway, I'm Mar. This has been my opinion, and I'll catch you guys next time. If you liked the video, be sure to subscribe down there. I got some social media platforms down there you might want to check. I'm most active on the Facebook and Instagram, but I have been getting active on Twitter.